Good evening. I hope you had a good day today. Tonight's lesson is on solving inequalities. Our learning objective is I can solve inequality problems and identify several possible answers. Before we begin, I'd like to review solving equations because you will find that equations and inequalities are quite similar. The first thing we have to do for this problem, 2x plus 3 equals 15, is we have to do the inverse operation of adding 3, which is subtracting 3. We're going to subtract 3 from both sides. Our positive 3 and negative 3 cancel out. We are left with 2x equals 12. The inverse operation of 2 times x is divided by 2, so we're going to divide both sides by 2. And we are left with x equals 6. Now, in order to double check to make sure that we did have the answer correct, we are going to complete a check. The first step is to rewrite the original problem. And then we're going to substitute in 6 for wherever we see x. So 2 times 6 plus 3 equals 15. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 3. And 12 plus 3 is 15. 15 equals 15. So we do have a check. Okay. Now, moving on to inequalities, one of the big rules that we have to remember is that when we are multiplying or dividing by a negative number, we must reverse the inequality symbol. And we do that in order to make sure that the inequality is a true statement. So our first example is x minus 3 is greater than 7. Just like solving an equation problem, we are going to use the opposite or the inverse operation. So therefore, we are going to add 3 to both sides. Negative 3, positive 3 cancel out. And we're left with x is greater than 10. Now, one thing that is different about an inequality is that when we do the check, we could just choose the value. For inequalities, we can't, because if we were to choose 10 is greater than 10, well, that's not true. So we need to choose a number that is greater than 10 when we check. We are going to rewrite the inequality. And this time I'm going to choose, I could choose 15, I could choose 16, I could choose 22, I could choose 100, as long as it is a number that is greater than 10. So for this, I'm going to choose 15. 15 minus 3, I know that it should be 12. 12 is greater than 7. Well, is that true? Absolutely. So therefore we check and our answer is correct. Okay, go ahead and flip over to the next side. Example number 2 has negative 3x less than or equal to 21. The opposite or the inverse operation of negative 3 times is divided by negative 3. Negative 3 over negative 3 cancels out. We are left with x. 21 divided by negative 3, well, I know that to be negative 7. Now, this is where it becomes tricky. Because we multiplied or divided by a negative number, we need to reverse the direction of the inequality. So instead of having a less than or equal to, we are going to have a greater than or equal to symbol. We're going to go ahead and check. Remember to rewrite the original problem. And I'm going to substitute in. Now, I need a number that x is greater than negative 7. So any number that is greater than negative 7. Negative 6, negative 5, 0, 8, 100. Any of those numbers will do. And that's part of why we have multiple solutions. I'm going to choose 0, actually. So we're going to multiply negative 3 by 0, and I know by the 0 property that anything times 0 is 0. 0 is less than 21. Well, is 0 less than or equal to 21? Absolutely. And we check. All right, I'd like you to take a look at example number 3. Okay, pause the video, come on back. Hopefully you pause the video. The first step that we are going to complete is we are going to do the inverse operation of adding 5, which is subtracting 5 from both sides. The positive 5, negative 5 cancel out, and we are left with 4x greater than 31 minus 5 is 26. Okay, our next step is to do the inverse operation of 4 times. Inverse operation is divided by 4. So we're going to divide both sides by 4. 4 over 4 is 1, and we're left with an x. 26 over 4. We do this really quick. It goes in 6, 24, 2, 2/4, which is 6 1/2. So we have greater than 6 1/2. I want you to take note that I did not reverse the inequality because we divided by a positive number. It's only multiplying or dividing by a negative number in which we reverse the inequality. We're going to go ahead and check, rewrite the original problem. I can choose any number that is greater than 6 1/2. I could choose 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever number we chose. I'm going to choose 10. 10 is a nice, easy, round number. Plug in wherever we see x with 10. 4 times 10 is 40 plus 5. 40 plus 5 is 45. Is 45 greater than 31? Absolutely. So we check. Okay, moving on to example number 3. Pause the video, take a moment and see what you can do. Keep in mind, we do have a -5 times x, so we are going to need to reverse. Go ahead, pause the video, come on back. Okay, hopefully you paused the video. The first step that we are going to do is we are going to do the inverse operation of adding 2. So we're, oops, look at that, made a mistake. So we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. Positive 2, negative 2 cancel out. We bring down -5x less than or equal to 22 minus 2 is 20. Okay, we have -5 times x. The inverse operation is dividing by -5. -5 over -5 leaves us with x. 20 divided by -5. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Positive divided by a negative is a negative. I divided by a negative number. I need to reverse the inequality. So instead of less than or equal to, we will have greater than equal to. We're going to go ahead and check. Okay, I can pick any number. X is greater than or equal to -4. I can choose any number. I'm going to do pretty simple. I'm going to choose 0 once again. I tend to like 0, 10, that kind of thing. It makes checks pretty easy. -5 times 0, 0 property states that anything times 0 is 0. Bring down. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 is less than 22. Is that true? It is, so our problem checks. Okay, what I would like you to do is I'd like you to take a few moments after the video and complete these 2 problems. Have them ready for class tomorrow for us to discuss. Have a good night, and I will see you later.